Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, episode 2 of The Challenge, season 34, War of the Worlds 2. Recap, fantasy scoring. We got it all for you. Paul Shaughnessy is in studio. What's up? How's your fantasy team doing?
I think we're like tied for 59th, but then there was like problems with like the scoring.
Rob screwing it up.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna have a little bit of a theory coming up when we actually get into the scoring about maybe some shenanigans that Rob's up to.
Oh, really? So here are the top scorers for the week.
Yeah, we should get right into it.
As it pertains to it, Pauly has 87, Cam has 83, Smashley has 73. Tribunal points apparently worth a lot, especially couple that with the fact that you actually win the competition. So all the Americans, there's very few UK people in the top of the scoring. So you got George at 64, Wes at 50, Jordan at 42, Bananas at 32, so is Tori, Kara 30, Zach and Josh. Also, when I talk about Josh now, I'm just going to talk like him, like he's homestyle wanna. The guy's voice just irritates me.
He's awful. Yeah. Actually, and yeah, we'll get into... we'll talk about that right now. I was saying last week that your boy Rogan was whack. Based on the teaser at the end of this episode, if he's going after Josh, that is the key to my heart. So I may jump ship. We'll see what happens next week.
It's hard to tell because it looks like Wes is yelling at someone, and then Rogan's like losing at someone.
Yeah, it may not. Yeah, it could just be.
And then Josh is like, "Wogan, what are you doing here?"
Exactly. So if he's anti-Josh, then I can't be anti-Rogan because it would just be pretty off-brand. So Rogan could find a way back into my fandom, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but...
It's tough. I'm kind of hoping that Josh is just awesome at all the challenges and eliminations now. Like, I really disliked Pauly last year, but at least he's good. Mm-hmm. So, like, he's a viable character to have on the show. Like, if Josh is just super annoying and he sucks at all the challenges, then what's the point of having him on there? Besides me actively hating him.
Well, get it. Because it gets some sort of reaction out of you, I
guess so. I just want to see him go. I'm like, I hope his team votes him in. Like, that hasn't happened yet. No one's picked people from their own team to go into elimination. Mm-hmm. I hope they pick him.
Okay, so here's my major gripe, though. With your scoring here.
I'm not doing the scoring.
With Rob McIntyre. That's Rob MCI16 on Twitter. Make sure you bully him, give him a hard time. What the fuck did Pauly do in this episode? How did he get 87? How did he score more points than anybody else? That's my real question.
I don't understand how he scored.
How did he score more than Cam?
That's what I'm thinking. How did he score more than Cam? Maybe it's an error. I don't know. And that will be rectified.
I think that Rob has like 75% on his like 97 teams. Rob has like 70% ownership of Pauly, which he probably thinks is like 20 or 50 or 40% above the field. And just like, Rob, nobody has a field. Everybody else is 100% invested in everybody that's on their team.
Yeah, people though, if people are just watching like challenges,
he's got burners in there.
Yeah, they don't know what we're talking about.
Things saying that their Pat Mayo is better than he's better than Pat Mayo. It's just like Rob he must have at least 6 teams in your league alone.
All right, just fake accounts everywhere.
Fake accounts, emails, everything.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't have the scoring in front of me, like the actual, because Rob posts what it is, but I can't decipher.
But it's
on Rob code.
Yeah.
But he's in the tribunal. They won the mission. Yeah. There's 2 things. Those are highly valuable things.
Sure.
Then I guess he had a whole bunch of like talking to the cameras.
I feel like his only real talking to the cameras seemed to be with like Cam, with them like deciding to be partners.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really all that active in this
politicking.
Episode. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I forget something. But like I was shocked to see Pauly number 1.
Well, if people want to get into a draw for $20 DK dollars, all they need to do, smash the like button for this episode, leave their DraftKings handle in the comment section. You tell me who you think the next person out is going to be. It's going to be a guy, more than likely, unless someone else quits. Two quits in this episode.
Yeah.
And we lost someone from
Faith and Zahida.
Zahida.
I like how they moved on from both of them. There's like, and like they didn't even give them like, oh, they're leaving the house. Oh, everyone's so sad. It's just like, yeah, they left last night. Moving on.
Well, Zahida's grandma died, so she had to leave. With Faith, it was just TJ just like, yeah, Faith left. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Just savage stuff from TJ.
Absolutely.
Apparently she's pregnant though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the real reason why she left.
Could be why she was a little bit crankier than usual.
Maybe, but like if you were pregnant, you wouldn't go on the like. I don't think you can insure a pregnant person.
I don't think that you go onto the show knowing that you're pregnant. She's probably puking that night. Like she's probably in a bad mood already. Bear's being loud and obnoxious as
he does.
As he does.
That's why we love Bear.
And you know, she was probably sick. She looked like she was like pretty rough when she was having her little freak out. And like,
it was the middle.
Her hormones were obviously way out of check because she was in there waking everybody up in the house. Which was a bad move. I think she probably woke up the next morning just like, nobody really likes me on my team anyway. Like this is not a good setup, especially after what happened last night.
Yeah, so maybe they would have voted her in instead of voting in Georgia. Actually, they probably wouldn't have. But...
No, they would have tried to get rid of Georgia.
All right, so it starts off. We're back at the elimination. Idris decides to stay with the UK team. Then we find out that if you switch teams, you can only switch once. So that's intriguing to me. Mm-hmm. But I was not clear that if you decline switching teams, like if Idris gets thrown in this week and he wins again, can he still then move to the USA team? I'm kind of foggy on these rules.
Yeah, do you only get one opportunity?
I would think that no, that if he does win and he hasn't switched yet, that he would get a chance to switch back home.
I think that would be the case as well.
So they go home and they immediately have a USA team meeting. Jordan calls a team meeting.
And it's a disaster.
Yeah, kind of. Like Leroy got some still. When Leroy heard the word like burn vote, it triggered him. He's like, no burn votes. Can't do that.
You could see, well, yeah, it's more of a disaster because you kind of see like how hard it's going to be to have everybody on this team on the same page. They're just so good in the challenges, especially right now when there's so many weak competitors on the other team that you may want to switch it to me.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true. Totally forgot about that. Just been me the entire time.
I was just like, I'm not wearing a green shirt out of the corner of my eye.
High production quality.
Producer at heart right here. Where was I going with that? Yeah, you just see like all of these personalities and everything like that. It's just like these people are never going. There's a reason why they're all so good at this game. It's because they don't listen to other people. They're, completely in their own head for their own game. And I kind of agree. Eventually they probably will crumble, but like that, their advantage over the UK team is so massive that I don't think it's going to matter for a while. Like they're just going to pick them off. Until a few people are left kind of thing.
The two biggest takeaways that I had from the entire thing was Bananas is laying back in the cut and not actively trying to be a team leader. He's just trying to throw shade at Wes.
Yeah,
try to get Wes out of there. If the USA loses or even if they win, they might throw in Wes next week.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of him. Like I feel like he's burned every bridge now.
He'll beat most of those people on the other side, though.
Maybe. It depends on who they end up throwing in.
I think Wes is going to be around longer than you think.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's already he's hawking up phlegm. Like he's not in good shape.
These confessionals took place way after, by the way, though.
All of them?
100%. Like I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty trained eye for like looking at like viz and video and telling who's like, for instance, Georgia's like all of her confessionals from this episode, like she looks considerably like she's put on a little bit of weight. Compared to like the live action footage and stuff like that. Wes was a guy who looked a lot skinnier when they originally released that like first 6.5 minutes. He looked skinnier in his confessionals than this. Like I'm pretty sure these confessionals are way out of date. Like they did it way after the show was done.
That's really
they go through the tape and because like they're not looking like I'm noticing like in their face and stuff. They just don't look like their cheekbones aren't as
but they're also. Like I said, they're full of makeup, Photoshop, 4K in these interviews, and they're just kind of wandering around during the house. And they're on GoPros.
I think Wes is going to... I think they may vote Wes in. I think Wes ends up winning, and then Wes switches teams.
I can see that happening.
Because like D's already over there. That's like one of the only people that he can trust in this game at this point.
And the only person that he really doesn't like from the UK team is Bear. But that's it. Everyone else he does seem to get along with.
He's got the Jogan.
Not much of Jogan this week.
No, not much Jogan.
They had a big week
last
week. Not
much Bear at all recently.
We got Bear coming up next. I actually went through for the first time ever for this show. I got scene by scene, like what's going on.
I'll let you take it away then. Go.
So, but the other thing from that meeting that they had was, Jordan gets into it with Wes. Wes did try to make the point of Jordan still being super sneaky here, which he kind of was to an extent, but I don't know. I think Jordan kind of cleared that up by outing everything for the entire thing. But Zach is just legit waiting back in the weeds. Like, at least Bananas is chiming up a little bit to throw shade at Wes, and they keep talking about this is a team of alphas, a team of leaders. The people that are going to have the most success are the people that just don't say fuck all. And Zach is lining up to be that guy right now. Yeah, I am devastated I didn't pick Zach for like the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, Zach without Jenna there too. I think he's more focused on the game. He doesn't have all the other side. They always get in a fight every single year, and like that takes his mind off of the game. And yeah, I think like he's probably focused on the game for the first time in a while.
Fast forward to the next morning, Bear and Laurel having a nice little chat in the pool.
Yeah.
Nani getting triggered about it.
Get after it. Make it happen. They're both on my team. Laurel's my captain. Like, this is what I'm here for. Let's get it going.
I think
she's got a crush on him. With Bear, it's, he's got lots of crushes all the time. This is a smart move for Bear, though. It's just like, line yourself up with the most dominant female, at least on this cast, historically.
If the UK is smart about this, if they actually end up winning, and maybe they'll never win one of these daily missions, who knows, because they're abysmal at them. But if they win this week and they win next week, if they win the next girls one, Laurel's getting thrown in 100%.
She'll crush.
She might crush, but if it's a puzzle or she goes up against that Jenny girl, maybe Jenny can beat her.
That Jenny girl scares me, but she's also on my team, so I want her to do well. That would be a bad way for it to go for me.
So it could work out really well for your fantasy side, that if Laurel just gets thrown in every time because you actively want to get rid of her.
She's with Jordan, though. Why would they be throwing her in?
What do you mean?
Why would they be throwing Laurel?
No, if the UK wins, you would throw in Laurel.
Yeah.
Every time. It's just if the UK wins and it's girls' day, then you would. That's the person you throw in.
Yeah, this is like us. It's like you predicting like what a coach is going to do with his running backs, though. Because these UK people, you're giving them far too much credit. They will mess this up. They will not put in the best person on the other team. They will put in like whatever. They'll be drawing names out of a hat. Like they're an absolute disaster.
I think the move's gotta be put in Laurel.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because that's a smart thing to do, Pat. Is try to get rid of the best people like the US tried to do with Georgia, and it almost worked.
I think they made a mistake not putting. I mean, if you knew what the elimination was going to be, Georgia was the right pick because maybe she could have lost to Big T. I don't think Jenny was going to be losing to Big T in that one. No. But I would have thrown Jenny in. I think they had the right idea. That Curry kind of said, it's like, we don't know what she can do. Maybe she's horrible. Maybe she's like that Derek guy with all the popcorn muscle, just sucked at everything. And maybe she's just a workout fiend. Because like the next scene is just her working out and dominating everyone. That was the end of poor Big T. Her performance in the gym did not really set her apart. She wasn't even trying. And CT may have been the MVP of the episode in this scene.
Just
being like, he kept looking at the camera, just being like, couldn't have gone better for him. He's just like, this looks great.
Yep, he's loving it. And she looks like she could be a problem. She could be a big time problem. We'll see.
So you have to like
I literally drafted her on my team because I just saw how jacked she was. That was the only reason. I knew nothing about her.
We get to the actual challenge for the episode. I really like this challenge. I thought it was awesome. And I want to be like the crossbow seat where Joss and Jordan ended up being. That looked like a lot of fun.
Except for Joss.
Well,
because by the time he got shot out of his cannon, if you notice, like in terms of the production, they were never doing a really wide shot. They didn't want you to know how far ahead the UK was.
The US.
Or US was. The
US I think it was pretty clear how ahead they were.
They may have actually, like, Joss may have just been shot out of the can because he wanted to.
I want to try this.
Exactly. That's like the sense that I got from it, is that the US may have already been done, and he's just like, I've been sitting up here for like 40 minutes watching these losers not be able to swim. Like, at least shoot me out of the can. They're like, all right. So then he got shot out, and they were just like, make sure you just pretend to swim, though.
The part I don't understand is when they're having like their meeting at the beginning, both sides, it seemed like the UK had it figured out to put all their letters in, shoot Josh off, and then figure it out on the way back, and that the US didn't have that part figured out. But when they actually get into it, the exact opposite happens. Like, Banana's like, no, just who cares? Just throw them all fucking up there, and we'll come back, and we'll be fine. The UK looked like they spent 30 minutes trying to figure out what the puzzle was before they didn't shoot Josh off. How didn't anyone be like, listen, we need to throw these up here? How is that not said by anyone? I
mean, you have CT. CT's like the voice of reason on that team.
But CT's like decent at puzzles. He was even saying, throw them all up there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, he's the voice of reason on that team, and that's a scary proposition. This is a guy who's been like kicked off multiple shows for like trying to kill people.
Yeah.
Like, he's by far. I love when Kyle actually tried to chime in. Maybe I'm going too far.
No, that's at the tribunal.
Yeah. Love when he jumped in. He's just like, I'm trying to be like CT, like trying to be the captain. He's just like, I may just be the village idiot.
Yeah. Well, he kind of is the village idiot. We love Kyle.
Yeah,
though.
Kyle's great. Love him.
He should really get on the U.S. team. Maybe just make Dave. Here's a twist. What if you could make trades? Have it be like a fantasy league. And then all of a sudden you're just like, we'll trade you Wes for Kyle. And we'll throw in like one of our back end scrub girls who's better than all of your girls, but two. Give him, I would have said Faith, but she's not there anymore. Who's left? Give her a Smashley. Smashley and Wes for Kyle.
I mean,
Smashley's
not getting a lot of screen time right now, so this could be a real Smashley season.
Well, we kind of get after the challenge finishes. Cam just is like, yeah, I'm the captain. Yeah, everyone needs to be more like that. The guy from Captain Phillips, just like, I'm the captain now. And then boom, all of a sudden you're the captain. That works out really well. So she picks Polly and she picks Ashley. And I think it's pretty smart on her end, only because I don't know who Polly and Kara are actually aligned with, but it now seems like Ashley, Polly, Cam, and Ashley could all kind of be together with Kara. I think it's a smart move. A team of 4 is kind of what you want to have. Because it's not like Polly's going to get along with all the guys.
No.
They probably have no like male allies. So having the 3
Yeah,
girls,
he's already on the outside of all of those relationships as it is. Like, they kind of hate him. He's the guy who's ruined Kara, so...
Although, I must say, Kara and Polly have been far more sufferable this season.
Yeah, they haven't given them very much
Exactly.
screen time. That's why he shouldn't have scored 87 points.
He did. He's on my team, so I like it.
Sorry, I got a little bit fired up there.
You're mad about this.
It's bullshit. There's no way he scored that many points.
We'll get Rob to explain it to us after this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have Rob back on next week. Maybe not, though, if this scoring just continues to be horrendous.
Yeah. He's obvious, and yeah, he's up in like the top 10 right now in your league.
Of course he is.
With one of his teams.
If you had to give a percentage on Rob looking at spoilers for the season, would you say it's 100%?
Oh, 100. He sends us like these little links and stuff. It's just like the only way you're finding this stuff is like if you're like searching the wrong things. You know what I mean? Things that'll get you banned from being on this or to be in our challenges moving forward.
That's true. You get banned from the league and you get actively bullied on social media. Those are the consequences of using spoilers to pick your team.
Yeah, Rob's
but why would you
spoil?
spoil? I don't understand. Here's the one part.
Like, he loves it. And
I get
spoil
that.
it.
But yeah, that's the part I don't get. I love this show. I don't want it spoiled for me. And it's not like we're playing for a cent. You know, if we were playing for 100K and there was the ability to look at spoilers, I would look at the spoilers and win the money. I would. But we're playing for $0. So what's the point? Who cares?
It's like Christmas when you're a child, though. And if you have any little kids in the room listening right now, this would be a good time to turn it off.
Use the 30 skip ahead.
30 second skip ahead. So 3, 2, 1. Now,
skip.
Now, if I ruin it for your kid, it is what it is. They shouldn't be listening to the stuff that we say anyway. But I'm not a parent. It's like on Christmas when you're a kid, you know where your parents keep all of the gifts, the Santa gifts, everybody, all the gifts, and you kind of go in and you look at them. I used to do it all the time.
Sure.
My parents kept it in their closet, in their bedroom. When they were off doing other things, I was digging through things, be like, oh, I asked Santa for that. It never really crossed past that, like, hey, like I would never remember like, oh, that was in their closet, but Santa gave it to me on Christmas Day. That never really carried over, but I would like already know stuff that I was going to get.
Yeah.
Because
I get that.
I was awful with it. I think
some parents actually
would sneak.
actively put some of that stuff in spots where the kids can find it, then keep the really good one in a spot where they're not even looking. It's like a false flag attack. It's like, oh, there's everything. You found it all. And then you have like the banger, the hammer gift that ends up coming in at the end. That's how at least I'm going to play it as a father.
I don't think
by the time my child is old enough to figure out like, hey, he can look for gifts in the house, I'm going to have a secondary hiding spot for the best gift. The best gift.
I was the youngest of 5 kids, though. I don't think my parents had time for that shit. Plus, they probably didn't have a place in the house that wasn't being seen by the
I suppose
kids.
that's true. You're like the Buster Bluth of the family. It's just like, yeah, by the time that Buster came along, we just didn't care anymore.
Essentially.
What else was I going to think about that? But he's not a child. He's a grown-ass man.
Is he, though?
He's a man. He's not 40. He's at least 20.
He's at least
He
20.
can vote. So it's not the same.
It's similar. That's what I think. Is that he just needs to know. He can't help it.
Jordan and Ninja start talking to each other after all of this, after the tribunals picked them, they're back at the house. And they're kind of debating who the better female competitor is, or at least who the best players on the UK are. And they come down with Jenny for the female side in Georgia.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
But no one says D until Wes brings it up, or it gets brought up at the tribunal.
I think D is highly overrated.
I don't know.
Girl can't swim.
Well, if there's no swimming challenge, let's say we know there's no swimming challenge. Would that elevate D?
Sure, but she's still got a massive hole in her game.
Well, is she?
She's literally a layup if anything has to do with water.
Yeah, but there's no in the final she would be a layup if there's water.
I'm not gonna lie.
No
I think D's pretty trash.
Yeah, I think D's all right actually.
I think she's pretty trash. I think she's awful. All right, if she was on the U.S. team, who would she be better than?
Faith,
well,
Josh.
In terms of the girls that are still remaining on the U.S. team, who would she even be better than? She'd be the worst player on the team.
Probably, but that team is stacked. CT even said it. This is the most stacked team in challenge history.
Georgia, and we don't know enough about Jenny.
She looks the part. But D's in
both of them look like multiple tiers above D. I think D's pretty crap.
I got a hot take on this. I don't think Georgia's all that good. She almost fucking lost a Big T.
She's not very strong.
No, she is not strong. We give her a lot of credit because she's good at running.
She's good at running. She can swim.
And she can swim, sure. You know who can't swim? Idris.
No.
CT had to drag his carcass through the water.
You know who couldn't
and then people were mad at CT. It's he just pulled this dude halfway across a lake.
You know who basically can't swim? Any British person, seemingly.
Except for Georgia.
Yeah.
And Kyle seemed I guess Joss was their one good swimmer.
Yeah, we didn't even get to swim because it was pretty much over by the time he got in there.
Well, I wondered this too. How do they decide who the people sitting up on the crossbow were? I assume
it was probably I'm the captain now. Put me up in there.
Do you put your best swimmer up there? Because Wes was clearly the best swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
He always is. Him and Shane actually were always the best two swimmers on the show. But he was dealing with congestion or something. But they sent him out to go get the two pieces. Wouldn't you want your best swimmer getting the two pieces over dragging the one thing back? I would think so anyway. So if it was Joss and he was their best swimmer, they should have not had him up there and let him go out so CT wouldn't have to be dragging people back.
I guess.
Bad strategy all around from the Brits.
That's why when you're just they should definitely put them in. It's just it's this UK team is awful though.
Well, Bear won't want to put Laurel in as well because he loves her. He doesn't really.
He kind of loves everybody.
He's just a loving guy.
He's really a loving guy. He's just super chill on this season.
So
he just knows that he's at peace because he's nobody's coming after me.
Wes is coming. Wes is the only person coming after him, but everyone else is going after Wes. So unless Wes somehow gets the power and throws him in, I think he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see though. Maybe Bear's the next person out. What do we know? Jordan, and we talked about that. Zach and Tori dish on Cam that maybe Cam's not as popular as Cam likes to think she is.
I agree with them.
Cam
hasn't she has a good elimination record. She's been good. But Cam likes to talk herself up like she's some sort of legend. And she would probably catapult her. She would say that she's above Ashley Smashley.
2-time winner.
It's just Ashley's won this damn game twice. She's considerably more established in this game than you. But Cam would probably think that she's at least on the same level. And she's not even she hasn't proven anything yet.
I think she's
won some eliminations against some absolute tomato cans because she was getting thrown in like a rookie against the losers because that's what they do every single season. And she's way better than the average loser that they bring into the game. But honestly, it was her and Ashley last year when they were on that, when they were going up against Amanda and Josh with that little stick. It's just you know what? 1, this Ashley guy, popcorn muscles. 2, Cam, overrated.
Who's better, Cam or Tori? Because Tori was the one throwing shade at it. And I liked it because she wasn't overrating herself. She's just what has Cam done? Because I think Tori's actually, she has.
I think they're pretty close on par. I would put them on par with each other. Yeah. But Cam probably thinks that she's up there with Cara and Laura. That's the general mentality that I seem to think that she has about herself in this game. And sorry, you maybe you'll get there one day, but you're not there yet. You haven't won anything.
The one thing that Cam has over the majority of the house that I think it's pretty clear that she's almost like Wes with the guy's side, but she's actually inherently more likable than Wes. She's just way smarter than everybody.
She is definitely smart.
She just sees the entire thing. When they were doing that cipher puzzle. Like Bananas was almost even just like Cam, like pointing to Cam, like you figure it out. And Turbo was just chilling. He's like, I don't speak English good. Bad challenge for him. Hopefully that like doesn't fuck him in the end.
That's why he's just lying down in the corner, just like I don't spell. He doesn't spell.
Well, what if does that mean if Turbo's on the season and still in the game, they can't do the
they got a word puzzle or something,
or they can't do the spelling bee?
Ooh.
Everyone loves the spelling bee.
That would be bad for that would be very bad
Watch
for
him
my
just
boy Turbo.
Or that he might be like sandbagging them. He's actually like a great speller.
He was just wanted to have a little chill that day.
Yeah, he's been not doing much besides his like corkscrew dive into the pool that we saw earlier.
Which is badass.
It was pretty badass. Even Bananas was like, whoa, shit.
Yeah.
Looks good. So what else do we have? Cam and Polly try to dish it out about how they should be in an alliance together, but then Cam, Georgia, and Kaylee, like Cam starts talking to Kaylee, then Kaylee starts causing a ruckus with the Brits. I totally forgot she was on this season until like that scene.
Yeah. How long is her season going to last, really? Like,
she is like good friends with Cam.
That's a competitor who's came back multiple times and it's just like, this is never going to, like, what's the ceiling for Kaylee here? Maybe she gets through another few episodes or whatever. Like, going to war against Georgia's inherently more likable than her. Like,
except for when she cries.
Which is every episode. Literally every episode. It's crazy how many points that girl. Like, it's like she just rosters herself in like a fancy, and she just knows she's got to bank those crying points for herself. Because like I think I called her what? I called her like the James White or something. It's just like not much happens, and then by the end of the episode, you're like, holy shit, she scored 60 points.
Yeah, I mean, she scored the fourth most points of anyone in this episode. And yes, winning the elimination is going to help. But that's not a whole bunch of points. It's enough points, but yeah, crying, politicking, fighting, just piling it up all along the way. A lot of confessionals.
She's a very steady score. Week to week, she's probably one of the steadiest scores you can ask for in this game.
And she was last year, too, like you had mentioned, because I remember because she was on my team, just randomly. I was like, I had to pick some loser to be on my team. I wanted Hunter, couldn't afford him. Took Hunter's partner, and all of a sudden, Georgia was good. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you luck into these things. So Kaylee gets everyone all stirred up on the British side. Then they go to the tribunal, and they're mad. It's Esther and Big T are just like all pissed off. They're the only two rookies being considered and not Jenny and George's
Jenny
friend.
And Nicole.
Nicole is the other one. But they make a big deal about this. Then it goes to the vote and everyone votes for Big T anyway. What was the fucking point of this?
Yep. This is what I was talking about earlier when you're like, this is what they should do. Just like you guys should already know what the numbers are anyway. So you shouldn't even have to have that vote. But that's besides the point.
But like, why throw the wrench into it?
Because they're dumb. This is not a very intelligent team.
No.
Who's the smartest person on the British team?
Theo?
Is
Maybe.
he?
I don't know. He's at least when he speaks in his British accent,
yeah,
it sounds like a proper British.
Yes.
It sounds like the Queen's English, not like, hello, love.
He's definitely up there, and that's could be scary. I mean, CT's probably up there too. And like,
CT and Theo.
CT goes from being one of like the least intelligent probably guys.
I don't know about that.
On the American team?
There's some dummies on the American team.
Who would you be smarter than?
Probably Zach and
Is
Leroy.
He smarter than Zach?
Maybe.
I kind of see them on the same level.
Okay.
He goes from that team being like at least bottom half to being like top three smartest people on that team.
Who are the smartest guys on the American team? Wes, Bananas, Jordan?
Yeah. Three pretty smart guys in this game.
Maybe Turbo. We don't really know.
Turbo.
It's hard to really decipher whether Turbo is super smart.
Yeah, language barrier makes it a little bit more difficult.
It makes it a bit tough. And just like the language barrier with some of these Brits that they need to subtitle at the bottom. Can't figure out a fucking word they're saying. So we actually go to, after the tribunal, everyone votes them in. They talk to Big T. Wes comes back into the house after he had to go to the hospital. And then Jordan keeps riding him. And Wes looks like he's actively getting pissed off with Jordan at this point. I think the Americans are colluding to throw Wes in. I really do. Wow. Or it's just a big swerve and all of a sudden Jordan's going to be thrown in.
Yeah, who knows?
Which I hope not as my team captain.
I have Wes on my team, so I hope he sticks around. I'm happy that he got some medical clearance. There was a few. It was a nervous moment while he was gone, but I figured he'd come back.
So when we actually get to the actual deliberation, Jenny and Georgia get tossed out. I don't know if it's Bananas who brings up D. Someone brings up D as the third best. Sure. On their team. And then Wes gets all defensive right away. And then Johnny starts calling out Wes. Real smart move. How that kind of went just to frame Wes's on the other team basically anyway. And we get Kara wants Jenny out, which I do think is the right move. And I had to note is that Kara's just much less annoying this season, which is Even in like the confessional, she's far less annoying. So that's always nice.
Mhm.
It's like her and Paul are like off in the corner while this is all going on as well. Johnny and Zach take the back seat, and then Josh starts going on about Georgia. He's like, I don't want Georgia out of here. That would be bad for me. And with the elimination after they voted in Georgia anyway, it got fucking spoiled because we saw in this season on Georgia making out with Josh, and that hasn't happened yet. So we know she's going to win. Not that you didn't know that she was going to be Big T anyway, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Maybe people didn't remember that from last week, although we talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Josh has got to go home. I guess Georgia. I wonder if Georgia actually likes him, or this is just like, hey, this jabroni seems like an easy person to get on my team on the other team.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like...
Or is she just trying to make Bear jealous?
As we talked about last week, outside of the game, Josh seems like probably like a really nice guy.
Yeah. He probably seems like the guy you would actually be able to trust the most. He seems
or
like loving,
hang with.
compassionate,
But
happy.
on this show, take a fucking hike,
Yeah,
pal.
get off my screen.
We did pass over the Faith way, or Bear waking up everyone in the middle of the night, then Faith clashing like pots and pans. That's what Rob sent us. Apparently Josh did that exact same thing on Big Brother.
The wake up?
Yeah, like he went like around the house like smashing like the Bart Simpson. I am so great. I am so great. But Faith, what are you doing? It's a terrible idea.
I thought, remember when she went on her first season, I thought she had some potential, but like
Where
this
was-
could be the end of the line for her
Yeah, I don't
in the MTV universe.
Yeah, maybe go back to X on the Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not cut out for the challenge. We need her partner back. That one that like Bananas was into, Angela, who was real crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be on.
I agree.
Get her and the Chad on, and we're gonna be good to go.
Let's go.
Long elimination. The elimination was kind of stupid, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, especially when it was a good matchup in the sense that they were both around the same like physical strength. Like it could have been really, really stupid if you had
What if it was like CT versus Pauly?
yeah, exactly.
Like he just runs him
He's
over. And
literally
the guy
twice
dies?
the size of him. So it's
Yeah.
like weight had a lot to do with it.
It was a bad job, bad elimination.
Yeah, what are you gonna
Although it
do
looked cool in the rain, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
So then Georgia,
They did it for like an hour and 45 minutes. Like that had to be pretty exhausting.
I would think so, but because we only see like certain snippets of it, right? So like how often were they just kind of standing there? Yeah.
Like leaning over.
Like a
top.
5-minute break.
Well, Georgia probably not.
Yeah, if you're
She's a
constantly
long distance runner.
yeah, but that's not the same as like using your traps.
It
to
is
hold
different
something up.
muscles, but like her cardio is pretty good. As long as she's not dying of thirst.
Yeah, as long as
and
she's not
passing out.
drinking the night before and going on a 10-mile run in the desert.
Exactly.
That's never good.
No.
And then she wins. Then she makes this awful speech at the end. Like, we know what you're doing here. Like, we see that you're playing up to the camera. This is really stupid. We know what's
It
going to
was
happen.
pretty dumb.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was cringe-worthy
I would
bad.
never switch teams. It's just like,
And no one fucking cares. Just pick your team.
Georgia, you
Like,
probably
we're-
should.
Like where we feel like we needed 4 minutes to fill out here at the end. So you're
Yeah.
like, keep going. Continue.
Yeah, Georgia, you probably should have switched teams, to be perfectly honest.
No, at least she has enough standing on her own team that if they win, they're not going to vote her in.
They just voted her in.
The other team voted her
True.
in. So if
But-
the other team's already voting you in, if you go to the other team, they're going to consistently vote you in.
It's true.
You
And the only person on her team is like Kaylee, who seems to Kaylee and Esther seem to be the two that are after Georgia. And
Yeah.
It's just like,
they're never going to win.
oh, that's terrifying. Wow, this is going to end really poorly for me. It's like those two are toast.
Like the only people that can like physically switch teams and make it work need to have some sort of relationship with the other side. So you're just not the person that everyone piles on to vote in. Like if CT switched teams, that would make sense. If Kyle switched teams, that would make sense. If Wes switched teams, that would make sense. But outside of that, I don't think it's really beneficial, especially for the UK people to do it.
Yeah.
Because we know that there is going to be some sort of twist coming. You can feel it.
Oh, there's going to be twists.
I don't know what the twist is going to be.
No idea.
But if you can start actively switching teams, then I don't know how this ends.
But you
up.
can only switch once.
But you can only, I guess you can only switch once. That's true. But like, we'll have a purge at some point, or like 5 people can switch teams this week. Like that's coming at some point.
Mhm.
Something along that line. I got the next week on. Josh is very mad at someone. Maybe it's not Marzipan. I don't know who it is. Rogan also mad. The barrel roll challenge looks super cool. And then someone's a cheater. I can't remember anyone cheating on this show ever.
I worry for my bear ownership. Because if anybody's gonna cheat on
Cheated.
something, Bear will freaking cheat on whatever. I'm pretty sure.
Do we have anything in the rules for cheating points?
I just wonder what you would have to do to be designated as a cheat. Like, we have to be able to.
We don't know what it is. But
Like, how do you cheat in most of these challenges?
like usually, if you quote unquote cheat, you're disqualified.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that works.
I don't know. Yeah, I literally have no idea how is.
And like people actively throw missions on. Like I don't understand how the cheating works.
Mhm.
Is like a spelling bee and like someone has the answers written on their hand.
Maybe I don't know.
And even then, that just seems like smart move. You figured out what the words were and you wrote them down.
I just hope the cheater's not on my team, but that worried me as well. This could be like, it could be anything though.
It could be someone cheating on someone.
It could be
else.
something so irrelevant.
Like Jordan cheats on Tori. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. No, but
Paul-
would CT be
Paul-
upset about that? Like, would he be like, I hate cheaters?
It was TJ who hates cheaters.
That's why. Who did I say?
You said CT.
That's why TJ. That's what I meant.
Maybe he hates cheaters and all. He hates quitters and he hates cheaters. No matter what that cheating is, he hates it.
Yeah, most of the time you just get disqualified though, and then TJ doesn't even really say much about it because you already got disqualified, so the punishment's there.
Yeah, see you never. Peace out.
It'll be interesting to see who cheats and how they do.
I was surprised that he didn't give Big T some more props because she put in a pretty gutsy performance.
I think based on what she did and like her cameos and stuff in that episode, like they could bring her back for another season. I don't think she's all that good, but I think she was better than what we anticipated.
And she was wearing like the craziest looking bathing suit
Mm-hmm.
in the house at one point. It was strange. Looked great on her, but just strange looking.
Yeah.
I couldn't pull it off. I'll tell you that much.
I wonder what her real name is. Because it's not Big T.
I think it starts with T.
Mm-hmm.
I think she said it in the first episode.
Teresa.
Yeah, sure. Big Teresa. There we go. Anything else from the episode?
No, not really. No.
It was kind of if you had
It
to
is
rate it,
alright.
like 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
About that. It was run of the mill type of episode, but like nothing too important, nothing too crazy.
Well, we spent so much time with the actual mission in the final challenge. I'm glad that we're getting back to some more of that, but like it's such a blowout that it's not super entertaining. There was at no point where it looked like the US was going to lose, and not only not lose, but not win by a landslide. And I mean, what can you do if that's how it actually turns
Now you think
out?
we're going to
But
see a lot of that.
I don't know. Maybe they'll start trying to figure out challenges that are a bit more even. Like, what does the UK team do? They're already down. They're down 2 players because Faith and Zahida both leave, so that's a wash. They've already lost a guy and they've lost a girl. We saw them, they had to double up this time around, but like, does it become beneficial to have fewer people on your team at some point?
Maybe
That's how they have to rig it. So,
Well, it's like as long as they continue to get rid of the weak links on their team,
They'll
like
get
their
better.
team does get better.
unless they have to start doubling up on things,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't really matter because then you have one guy doing 2 things or one girl doing 2 things.
I mean, they've lost Big T and Zahida. It's like that,
And that Sean guy,
and that's
maybe he was secretly really good. Who knows? We'll never know.
I think Idris may be better than we thought, except for when
He
you put
can't
him near
swim.
water.
Yeah, he can't swim.
Can't swim to save his life.
I don't get how you can't swim with a life jacket on. That's the part that confused. I get like if you just throw someone in, they legit can't swim, and then they sink. But you're wearing something that actively makes you float.
It's called panic, though.
I guess so, but you can't sink.
Even
you're wearing
though
a life jacket.
I know, but it's not a rational thing. People just think that's why they start to, like they start flailing their arms and everything like that. Like it's more of like a thing of panic that makes you not be able to swim, even though you should be able to float because you're wearing that. It's more the fact that it's like it's a pure state of panic, and they're not even thinking about the fact that it's like I'm not gonna die in this situation, so I should probably calm down and just swim like a normal person.
I guess that makes sense.
How the hell do you go on this show though and like not know how to swim? How do you not know how to swim?
I can see if you were never taught how to swim.
How though?
Some people just don't swim.
All right, so like
If let's say when was the last time you went swimming?
this past weekend,
No, can't tell you the last time I went swimming.
I was swimming in the lake.
Yeah, I don't go to lakes. I'd rather be in the city, out walking around. I want to go in the lake.
To a friend's cottage is great.
Yeah, no leeches in the lake. You want the ocean.
And water
The
shoes on.
ocean's where you're at. You had water shoes? What the hell
Yeah.
are water shoes? Like those jelly shoes?
You don't even know what water shoes are?
No, I'm
Really?
from the coast. We go in the ocean. You get stung by a
So-
jellyfish, someone pees on you, you're good to go.
So a lot of lakes here have something called zebra mussels. which are like these little muscles basically that attach themselves to rocks. They get pretty sharp.
Oh.
So they were brought in from like Chinese like oil tankers and stuff in like the St. Lawrence River, and they've infiltrated all of the waterways basically in Ontario, Quebec, everything like that.
It's an invasion.
Yeah. So basically, you wear water shoes because a lot of the rocks in a lot of lakes have these zebra mussels on the rocks, and if you step on them, you can cut your feet. So you wear water shoes in lakes typically around here.
Oh.
Yeah. Now you know. More you know.
More you know with Paul Shaughnessy.
As long as a rocky lake. If it's sandy bottom, you usually don't have to worry about it. They don't go there.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the last time that I was actually in the water.
You got to get a swim in there, kid.
The Jewish community centers by my house. I actually went and did laps one day, but that was it.
It's good exercise.
It's the best exercise.
And especially if you're going to go on the challenge one day.
Yeah, you might want to figure that
probably
part
get on
out.
top of. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you know you're going on the challenge, it's just like maybe you try to learn how to start swimming.
Fair enough. All
You
right.
go down to the local pool or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even on last season, Wes basically threw D in the pool and like half taught her how to swim in 2 days.
Because he knew it was gonna come up, and she was better. She at least had more confidence in it.
She did it. She didn't like sit it out.
Exactly.
And DQ them right away and cheat or do whatever. So Saturdays, I think the show's going to drop.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
noon, something like that. 11 a.m. maybe. I don't
Yep.
know. People are looking for the challenge shows. We got a lot going on because it's football season. So that's going to be the typical release date for the show. Thank you all for watching. Hit the smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section and tell me who you think is eliminated next. And you'll be in a draw for 20 DK Bucks winners announced on Monday's show. That'll do it for Paul and myself and for everyone out there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
That Mayo experience! Experience!